next up, let's look into the toms. Now, toms in itself is always going to be something that's tricky because depending on how many toms you have, in this case, we have 5. With those, number one, usually the toms in itself has some form of tuning so we don't want to use like an EQ preset that we think might be that might work. Compression in itself, I usually pretty compress it. The one thing that I tend to do a lot with toms is kind of control the sustain that happens afterwards, because and this is a huge tip for those that tend to use a lot of like toms. I think the sustain on this is great, but a lot of the times when you see like a lot of tom samples, the sustain in itself will be several bars long. What I tend to do is kind of reduce that, because what happens is the harmonics of that tom will kind of bleed into the next part. You know, especially if some of you guys who've seen like crash cymbals where it goes like, 16 bars of the crash just going shh. We usually tend to remove that out. It's the same thing that I do with toms, is that sometimes the sustain of it can be too long. I mean, this is well controlled, so I'm going to keep the way that it is.